Hello everybody. Our today's topic is crystal growth techniques. There are basically two types of growth techniques. First, bulk crystal growth technique and epitaxial growth techniques. Now before discussing the crystal growth techniques, let us understand the terms used in this process of the crystal growth techniques. That is single crystal. And as you know that the solid in which the periodic three-dimensional arrangement of the atoms, ions or molecules is repeated throughout the entire volume is called as single crystal. Now, what is seed? It is a small piece of single crystal or polycrystal material from which a large crystal is to be grown. And this large cylindrical crystal from the molten material is called as ingot. And what is the vapors? A thin piece of semiconductor material which is used in fabrication processes in ICs. Now we shall discuss the first technique, that is bulk growth technique. This technique is also called as Soralsky method. This method is widely used for growing single crystal, for example, silicon crystals. So there are different steps used in this method for crystal growth. This method involves pulling the crystal from the melt as it grows. In this method, a seed crystal is lowered into the molten material and then is raised slowly, allowing the crystal to grow onto the seed. Generally, the crystal is rotated slowly as it grows to provide a slight stirring of the melt and to average out any temperature variations that would cause inhomogeneous solidification. This technique is widely used in growing silicon, germanium, and some of the compound semiconductors. In Soralsky method of crystal growth, the shape of the ingot is determined by a combination of tendency of the cross section to assume a polygonal shape due to the crystal structure and the influence of surface tension which encourages circular cross section. In the fabrication of silicon ICs, it is economical to use very large silicon wafers so that many IC chips can be made simultaneously. After the single crystal ingot is grown, it is then mechanically processed to manufacture wafers. Now, let us discuss in short the different steps used to manufacture wafers. The first step is this ingot is mechanically grinding into a perfect cylindrical cylinder with precisely controlled diameter. Then the silicon cylinder is solved into individual wafers by using diamond tipped blade saw, and these wafers are mechanically lapped and ground on the both side to achieve a flat surface and to remove mechanical damage due to sawing. And finally, these wafers undergoes chemical mechanical polishing method so that the mirror like finish will be obtained in wafers. These wafers are used for IC fabrications. We may also add impurities or dopants to the silicon melt to change its electronic properties. Now let us discuss the second method, that is epitaxial growth technique. Now what do you mean by the epitaxial growth or epitaxy? The technique of growing an oriented single crystal layer on a substrate wafer is called epitaxial growth or simply epitaxy. This term comes from Greek roots. EP means above and taxis means a deposition in order manner. The epitaxial film may be grown from gaseous or liquid precursors. Now, this technique can be classified into two broad categories, that is homoepitaxy and heteroepitaxy. When silicon epitaxial layer are grown on silicon substrate, there is a natural matching of crystal lattice and hence high quality single crystal layer can be obtained, and this method is called as homoepitaxy. If the epitaxial layer and substrate are of different materials, then it is known as heteroepitaxy. For example, silicon germanium layer on silicon substrate. So these are two different materials, so it is called as heteroepitaxy. And in homoepitaxy, For example, if the deposited material or the film will be of silicon, and if the substrate is also of the silicon, then this material is called as a homoepitaxy. If the lattice mismatch is only few percent and the layer is thin, the epitaxial layer grows with a lattice constant with that of the seed crystal. So, there is in compression or tension along the surface is called pseudomorphic because it is not lattice matched to the substrate without strain. If the epitaxial layer exceeds a critical layer thickness depends on lattice mismatch. The strain energy leads to fabrication of defects called misfit dislocations. Epitaxial growth always occurs on a crystal of similar lattice constant, although some crystal dislocations occur due to lattice strain in graded region. Such crystals of high quality can be used in LEDs. For example, gallium arsenide. Now there are different types of epitaxial growth techniques. First is liquid phase epitaxial growth technique, molecular beam epitaxy, and chemical vapor deposition techniques. Now let us discuss one by one. Liquid phase epitaxy method. This method is to grow the semiconductor crystal layers from the melt on solid substrates. Liquid phase epitaxy is a solution growth process whereby the driving force for crystallization is the slow cooling of a saturated solution. The method is well below is operated well below of the melting point of the deposited semiconductor material. The semiconductor is dissolved in the melt of another material and at conditions that are close to the equilibrium between this solution and the deposition of the semiconductor crystal on the substrate is slowly and uniform. The equilibrium conditions depends very much on the temperature and the concentrations of the dissolved semiconductor in the melt. Now, what are the advantages of this process LPE? Its growth rate is high and favorable segregation of impurities into the liquid phase. Ability to produce very flat surfaces and excellent structural perfections. And here in this method, wide selection of dopants is possible. And this growth technique can be made to occur over a wide range of temperatures. And in this method, highly toxic precursors or byproducts are absent. Now, there are some limitations of this method. To control of layer thickness, alloy compositions, doping, interface smoothness, and difficulties in growing certain combinations of interest for heterostructure devices. And in this method, the poor reproducibility and the problem with scaling up in size. Now we shall discuss about the molecular beam epitaxy method. In the molecular beam epitaxy, the base material, as you know, it is called as a substrate, which could be a semiconductor material such as silicon, germanium, or gallium arsenide. First step in this method is heat the substrate at high temperature. Then fire the beams of atoms or molecules at the substrate from the guns called fusion cells. Here in this method, we can fire a different beams taking the different guns of atoms or molecules. Means for you can use a separate gun for silicon, suppose for germanium, for aluminum, indium, and this type of atoms of this can be fired. The molecules land on the surface of substrate it contains and built up very slowly and systematically an ultra thin layer. The complex single crystal grows one atomic layer at a time. And this method is an example of thin film deposition. The advantages of this method are good for making high quality semiconductor crystal from compounds or from number of different elements instead of from a single element. It is also allows extremely thin film to be fabricated in a very precise and carefully controlled way. Disadvantages of this method is it is a slow process, more suited for scientific research laboratories than high volume production. And in this method, the equipments involved is complex and very expensive. Now let us discuss the another method used for crystal growth technique is chemical vapor deposition, that is CVD. Now what is CVD? It is a process whereby a solid material is deposited from a vapor by chemical reaction occurring on or in the vicinity of a normally heated substrate surface. The solid material is obtained as a coating, a powder, or a single crystals. The advantages of low temperature and high purity epitaxial growth can be obtained by crystallization from the vapor phase crystalline layers can be grown onto a seed or substrate from a chemical vapor of the semiconductor material or from mixtures of chemical vapors containing the semiconductor. Some compounds, such as gallium arsenide, can be grown with better purity and crystal perfections by vapor phase epitaxy. These techniques offer great flexibility in fabrication of devices. Epitaxial layers are generally grown on silicon substrate by the controlled deposition of silicon atoms onto the surface from a chemical vapor containing silicon. In one method, a gas of silicon tetrachloride reacts with hydrogen gas to give silicon and anhydrous HCl. So reaction is given here. SiCl4 plus 2H2 gives silicon plus 4HCl. In this reaction occurs at the surface of a heated crystal. The silicon atoms released in the reaction can be deposited as an epitaxial layer. The HCl remains gaseous at the reaction temperature and does not disturb the growing crystal. This vapor epitaxy technique requires a chamber into which the gases can be introduced and a method for heating the silicon vapors. Since the chemical reactions takes place in this chamber, it is called a reaction chamber or reactor. Hydrogen gas is passed through a heated vessel in which SiCl4 is evaporated. Then the two gases are introduced into the reactor over the substrate crystal, along with other gases containing the desired doping impurities. The Si slice is placed on a graphite susceptor that can be heated to the reaction temperature with an RF heating coil. This method can be used to grow epitaxial layers of closely controlled impurity concentration on many silicon slices simultaneously. The reaction temperature for the hydrogen reduction of SiCl4 is approximately 1150 to 1250 degrees Celsius. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this CVD method? Advantages are this method is a versatile method. That is, any element or compound can be deposited. In this method, high purity and high density can be obtained. CVD films are harder than similar material produced using conventional ceramic fabrication processes. And this method is economical in production since many parts can be coated at the same time. Disadvantages of these methods are high deposition temperature is required. restrictions on the kind of substrates that can be coated. And in this beam, some traces will be found. Now let us summarize today's lecture. In the Soralexi, using the Soralex method, the bulk growth production is possible, and that will be a starting semiconductor material. Epitaxy growth can be used to control the surface properties of a semiconductor. Most semiconductor devices are fabricated in the epitaxial layer. And this method, high quality crystal growth is possible. To grow the layers of pre-doped silicon in pacemakers and vending machines, this technique is useful. And to deposit organic molecules on the crystalline substrate is possible by using these epitaxial growth techniques. Thank you.